Again, sorry for the inconvenience, and there we go. We are back on the air. And this time, I think it's good, so we'll just leave it off where it is right now, and hopefully nothing happens. So, back on the air again. So, like we said, we talked about DeAndre Hopkins and the Giants. The Jets firing Mike LaFleur. I mean, that's crazy. You know? Like, Jake, how do you feel about that firing? Like, do you think that firing might change our team for the greater or the worse?
I mean, I honestly have no clue. I mean, we haven't seen him. I haven't seen a game without Mike LaFleur in a while. And the last time him,
Yeah.
2-14. So I mean,
right.
I don't know. We never know. But remember that year we had Adam Gase. We had a team that was not the best.
Yeah.
We had not the good, but now we have Robert Saleh. Now we have.
He's a great coach.
He's a really good man. He tries to hype up that sidelines a lot.
Yeah.
But like we've been kept on saying, the future is a future quarterback maybe. They said Lamar, Rodgers, one of those guys.
Definitely.
And then DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, if we get those two, but man, this team will be so good. I mean, we will be. I mean, did you see the schedules came out?
I did see the schedule.
This team, this team could be beating the big teams like the Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, the Buffalo Bills. I saw the Chiefs on there.
Yeah.
I'm not that scared as I was in 2020 when we got blown out. But guess what?
Right.
On that team, you have Sauce Gardner that can probably lock up some of the receivers.
Yep.
Maybe even Travis Kelce might even try to lock up.
Right.
You never know. Just gonna have to pull some stuff off in the offseason and do what they did last year.
Yeah, I mean, so, Jake, tell me when you started first watching the New York Jets, because I started probably 7 years ago watching them.
I started 2018, 2023 now, so 5 years ago I started watching the Jets.
I started watching the Jets 6 years ago, actually, my fault. I started watching the New York Jets 6 years ago in 2017 when they went 5-11. I remember seeing them starting off 3-2. So happy that they were starting off with a good record. Then they fall down to 5-11. I was like, okay, we're obviously tanking for someone. And then they tanked for Sam Darnold, and they got him on the third pick. I was like, okay. I mean, it's Sam Darnold. I saw him play at USC. I mean, he must be a really good quarterback. And I did. I watched a lot of his games in college, especially a couple of the bowl games that he was in. And Darnold was just an amazing athlete in college. And to go third overall in the NFL draft, you gotta know that's your new franchise quarterback, because sometimes it's kind of rare to go in the top 5 picks and be a backup in the NFL. But I expected Darnold to be the starter, and when he was, it was a great thing for the New York Jets. The time that they announced that they were starting Sam Darnold, I got so happy, and I stuck with Sam's journey all through 2018, all through 2019, all through 2020. Heck, I was like the only Jet fan not wanting to get Trevor Lawrence and keeping Sam Darnold. And Jake, you were mad at me for that. You were mad at me for that.
I originally wanted Justin Fields.
Yeah. Oh my God, Sam, I originally wanted Fields, but I was happy with Wilson. I started going towards Wilson's side when the month of April came to roll around, because I watched his pro day, watched some of his college highlights. He threw dots in college. Justin Fields is good at running. Justin Fields, I think, is a better rushing quarterback than a passing quarterback, and we've obviously seen that in the past few weeks with the Chicago Bears. So, Jake, give me your opinions on if you would redraft the 2021 NFL draft, who would you pick? So, starting off with the Jacksonville Jaguars, would you have them keeping Trevor?
All right. Jacksonville Jaguars, of course, number 1 overall pick, maybe Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, there you hear it.
Yep, the number 2 overall pick for the Jets. So, I would do a couple.
Yeah.
Justin Fields.
Yep.
Mac Jones, maybe.
All right. I had him going to the 49ers in that draft.
And Trey Lance. Because he's been popping off. Week 1, he did pretty good, but now he's out of the season.
Yeah.
So, I do not know, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. So I had the Jaguars before the 2021 draft. I did have the Jaguars getting Trevor Lawrence. I had the Jets getting Zach Wilson. I had Mac Jones going to the 49ers. And I had Trey Lance going to the New England Patriots. And I thought Lance was going to be the Patriots starting quarterback by the beginning of the 2021 season.
So I did call from I got a lot of the draft picks right.
Yeah.
While watching during the draft, when I watched, so I remember watching. I was like, Trevor Lawrence going first, Zach Wilson going second. So I really had this gut feeling that the Niners were going to get Trey Lance, but I was like, I'm Mac Jones.
And you were thinking of it?
Trey Lance gets pulled off, man. And I knew Kyle Pitts was going to get off fourth.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember getting Penei Sewell. As long as had the fifth pick, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get Penei Sewell, because the Jets Instagram post once said that in their post they had a mock draft and it said they drafted Penei Sewell. I was like, oh my gosh, we might actually keep Sam Darnold. And speaking of Trey Lance, do you think Brock Purdy or Trey Lance is going to be the starter next season for the 49ers?
I think they're going to give it to Trey Lance, man.
Trey Lance.
Brock Purdy has improved a lot lately. I got to give it to him. But that is Trey Lance's spot. I don't really think you can't just take a guy's spot just because he got hurt.
Right.
I mean, you got to give him a chance. It's different if Trey Lance, like, say they give him like the first 4 games, he's not doing bad. He's doing pretty bad. Give him back to Brock Purdy, but you got to give Trey Lance. You got to at least give him a shot because that's the guy you drafted 3rd overall pick.
Right.
And you got to give him a chance. So my guess is they're going to start him next season.
I kind of agree with you there. I mean, right, like as you said, I think they're going to give it to Trey Lance, at least for week 1. If he starts to struggle, then I would put Brock Purdy in. Then, all right, so, yeah, I actually do agree with you on that. So, one more, all right, there's a couple things. One of them being, who do you have your Super Bowl pick? Oh, hold on, let's do this. Let me pull up the entire, playoffs.
So, yeah, there is a app, it's called Playoff Predictor, and it shows like a bracket.
Yep.
You can go on there and it shows.
What's it called again?
Playoff Predictor. And then the profile picture is it's like a picture of like like the tournament profile picture where it's like
yeah, I see it. Is it a website? Can it be a website too?
I think.
Oh, I got it.
I think it can. Yeah.
I got it.
The one I have is shows like a thing. Yeah.
Yep, I got it. So let's see. Can I do the playoff yet? Oh, I can. Okay, let's go to the wild card. Okay, let's bring it up. So let me just create a new scene. Go into studio mode.
So yeah.
Oh.
So we could
Let's go into studio mode.
I say we take like a quick 30 seconds or something, or like a quick couple seconds just to pick our playoff bracket, and then we'll tell each other the bracket.
Right. Alright, so I would get rid of this ad. Hold on, I gotta get rid of this ad. So much ads. Alright, there we go. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so here we go. Let's start. Alright, so Jake, do you have the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Los Angeles Chargers? Let's do your prediction first. Do you have the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Los Angeles Chargers first?
Sorry, say that again, you glitched out.
Alright, that's alright. So, you're going first. Do you have the Jacksonville Jaguars at home or the Los Angeles Chargers?
I have for an upset the Jacksonville.
Wow, alright, you're picking the Jaguars. Alright. Are you picking the number 3 Bengals at home or the number 6 Baltimore Ravens?
I have the number 3, the Bengals.
All right.
I think they're gonna shut them out.
Shut them out?
I think they're gonna shut them out, man.
Like completely no points for the Ravens? I say the Ravens.
If you need at least less than 7 points.
Yeah.
They're gonna either score 1 touchdown.
I have the Ravens. I have the Bengals beating the Ravens 34-10. So I'm kind of with you. All right, number 2 Buffalo Bills versus number 7 Miami Dolphins.
So I have been seeing people pick the Miami Dolphins over the Buffalo Bills.
It very well could happen.
Buffalo Bills, man.
You're picking the Buffalo Bills?
Yep, I'm sticking with Josh Allen.
All right, so number 4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers or number 5 Dallas Cowboys?
The number 5 Dallas Cowboys are going to pull it off.
Wow, all right. Number 3 Minnesota Vikings or number 6 New York Giants?
I have the 3 seed Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota Vikings, all right. The number 2 San Francisco 49ers or the number 7 Seattle Seahawks?
So, this is a game I'm definitely going to be watching. Not only is it the first game, but Geno Smith is in the playoffs.
And he's in the Pro Bowl.
He's in the Pro Bowl, so the former Jet. I want the Seahawks to win, but
all right.
upsettingly, I do have the Niners beating
the
Seahawks.
All right.
It's going to be a big rival match.
That is going to be a good match. So let's move on. Let's move on to divisional. All right, do you have the number 2 Buffalo Bills or the number 3 Cincinnati Bengals?
I have the number 2 Buffalo Bills.
So they're moving on to the AFC Championship? All right, the number 1 Kansas City Chiefs or the number 4 Jacksonville Jaguars?
Dude, this is just an easy pick. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to blow this team out, man.
Right.
And it's going to be a rematch from Buffalo against Kansas City.
All right. Number 2 San Francisco 49ers or number 3 Minnesota Vikings?
I have the number 2 49ers.
All right, the number 1 Philadelphia Eagles or the number 5 Dallas Cowboys?
So, this is a matchup that I could not decide for a while. I couldn't decide this matchup for. I just kept on thinking, but it's just I haven't seen Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts play against each other this year, and it's just I have no clue, man. But it's going to be a home game for the Eagles in Philadelphia. Crowd's going to be going nuts. It's going to be packed, and I do indeed have Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles moving on.
Wow, all right, so let's go. I have the same AFC and NFC picks as you. So now let's go to AFC Championship. Number 1 Kansas City Chiefs or number 2 Buffalo Bills? This is a tough one.
The rematch.
For the 3rd year in a row.
Buffalo wants some revenge after those 2 last playoff games. And the last time it was conference championship, same thing happening right now.
Yep.
Buffalo ended up losing to Kansas City, and then divisional was last year the craziest playoff game of all time, in my opinion.
13 seconds. 13 seconds.
13 seconds. Kansas City kicks a field goal, and then get the coin toss, go to OT, and then Kansas City wins. But the new rules have been introduced.
Yep.
Now the divisional, I think it's in the playoffs, the entire playoffs. So
yep.
That is good.
So who are you picking?
I gotta go with the Buffalo Bills. Moving on to Super Bowl 57.
All right, NFC Championship. Number 1 Philadelphia Eagles versus number 2 San Francisco 49ers. Who do you have?
This is just another hard matchup.
Yeah.
It's another tricky matchup. Team that I have no clue to pick, but
I know my answer.
I say it from the beginning, and I thought this team was a very underrated team.
Yep.
And I thought this team was going to make the ultimate upset. And I have the San Francisco 49ers moving on to Super Bowl 57.
the two number 2 seeds. I like it. Super Bowl 57. The number 2 San Francisco 49ers versus the number 2 Buffalo Bills. Who do you have winning Super Bowl 57?
So Brock Brady's going to be there, feeling pumped. It's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, so there's going to be a lot of San Francisco fans.
Yep.
But I don't think Josh Allen gives two craps.
Yeah.
I think Josh Allen is going to go out there and score a bunch of touchdowns, win this game.
Wow, so you got
win Super Bowl 57 Buffalo.
You got the Buffalo Bills winning Super Bowl 57?
Yep, I said it 2 years in a row now, and it hasn't happened.
It seems most likely this season.
It happens.
It seems most likely this season. All right, now it's time for my turn. All right, so let's go to the wild card round. I'll do all these.
So I'll ask you the questions now, right?
Yep.
All right.
So first,
we'll go to the first matchup.
Yep.
First matchup of the
Are you watching the stream so you can see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And are you? Okay, there we go.
All right. All right. You ready?
1 second.
All right.
The stream is a little. It's delayed for me, so I can't see your thing right now. So how this? I know the matchups in my head, right? So
yep.
I can think.
Okay.
I remember. So I know the first matchup is going to be the Seattle Seahawks versus San Francisco 49ers. So
all right.
Tell me your predictions on that.
I have the 49ers absolutely demolishing the Seattle Seahawks in this game. I think Geno Smith's going to go out there looking for some revenge, but no, I think Brock Purdy's at least going to throw 3 touchdowns against Seattle. I don't think they're going to destroy them, but I have the San Francisco 49ers winning at least by 2 touchdowns, giving the 49ers 34-16.
Jeez, that is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Second matchup is the the Giants versus the Vikings.
I have the number 3 Minnesota Vikings. Moving on.
Alright. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Dallas Cowboys.
You know, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys have been looking very sloppy lately. Trayvon Diggs hasn't been playing to his full potential lately. Give me Tom Brady and the Buccaneers to win one more playoff game.
Wow, that.
Give me the Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers beat the Dallas Cowboys.
Give me Tom Brady's 7-0 against the Cowboys. Make that 8-0. And I'm not rooting for him, but I just think that's gonna happen.
All right, now move on to the AFC now.
All right.
Let's go Jacksonville Jaguars at Chargers. So Chargers at Jacksonville.
So I know you said they would pull off an upset at Jacksonville. I just don't really see it. I have Justin Herbert leading this team to the divisional round. Give me the Los Angeles Chargers.
All right. We got Ravens at Bengals.
I've been saying this for a while now. Ravens are kind of a little overrated team. You know, the last time they were actually good was 2020. That was already 3 years ago. So give me the Cincinnati Bengals at least by 4 touchdowns in this game. 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Wow. I'm surprised by that one.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't say they were gonna crush them, right? I think I did say that the Bengals. So I guess I'm not that surprised.
All right.
We got Miami at Buffalo. Yeah.
I got the Buffalo Bills winning this one. I don't really have to give an explanation. Skylar Thompson's playing this game. I feel like he's gonna at least throw 2 interceptions. I just don't see Tyreek. I see Tyreek Hill getting at least 1 touchdown this game. I say the Dolphins get 3 touchdowns this game. I think it's gonna be a close game. Bills are gonna beat Miami by 1 touchdown. Give me the Bills 35 to at least Give me the Bills 35-27.
Wow, by 1?
By 1 touchdown, I'm calling it. All right, between 1 or 2 touchdowns. Between 1 or 2. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to division.
All right. NFC. Fisher. Well,
Philadelphia Eagles moving on to the NFC Championship game. I think Brady's a little old. I don't think he'll compete against this Eagles defense that well. Mike Evans is going to get locked up by Darius Slay. I just have the Eagles beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I think this is going to be Tom Brady's last game in the NFL.
Wow. Alrighty, well, Niners versus the
Vikings.
Vikings. Who?
Niners, Vikings.
Vikings. So, Niners, Vikings, who do you got?
I have the San Francisco 49ers going to the NFC Championship. I just think they have so much talent. I think Justin Jefferson's going to get two touchdowns during this game. I think the 49ers will beat the Vikings by 2 touchdowns. Give me the 49ers by 2 touchdowns.
All right. Chargers at
Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Give me the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I think it's going to be a close game. Very close game. Actually, no, wait, let me rethink that. Because at the beginning of the season, I called it the AFC Championship was going to be Bills-Chargers. And that may actually happen. The Chargers are probably the only threat that the Chiefs really have to think about in the AFC West. This is a really hard pick for me, actually, because I have that feeling that the Chargers will upset the Chiefs if they make it to the divisional round together, which I think they will. Oh, this is so tough. You know what?
Bengals at Buffalo.
Alright, I'll save the Chiefs-Chargers one for last, but give me Buffalo to move on to that AFC Championship game. You know, I really like this Bengals team. I just don't think they're going to pull it off again. I think they might. I think the Bengals are going to go at least 10-7 next year, or 11-6. I think Buffalo's going at least 13-4 next year, or 12-5. Give me the Buffalo Bills to move on to the AFC Championship. So now back to Chiefs-Chargers. This is such.
Here. Well, we'll go here. Well, you want to say that last? Let's go to NFC Championship first.
All right, so.
But we'll say, and then we'll do Bills. So we'll see if the Chargers and Chiefs one's last, because I think you both got to get picked. So.
Actually, no. I have my pick is in. I have the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Los Angeles Chargers by a field goal. In this game. Yep. Give me the Chiefs Bills to move on to the competition.
We'll do AFC Championship.
Yep.
Okay. Buffalo. Bengals, who do you got?
Buffalo, Kansas City.
Wait, Buffalo, Kansas City, my bad. Sorry.
That's all right. All right, Chiefs have dominated the Bills over the past 2 years, as you said. I think the Bills have had enough. I think Buffalo's going to finally pull it together. I think it's going to be the greatest. I think definitely not going to top last year's divisional round. I think it's going to be up there, though. Give me the Bills by 1 touchdown to move on to Super Bowl 57.
All right, we got the same pick here, and then we have the NFC Championship.
Eagles-Niners.
Wait, is it Eagles 49ers too?
Yep. So it's Eagles-Niners, and give me the San Francisco 49ers by 1 touchdown. Give me San Fran. Yeah. Super Bowl, Bills, 49ers. Took me a while to think of this one. Maybe the Bills defense will be too much for the Niners offense. Maybe the Niners offense will be too much for the Bills defense. Maybe the Bills offense will be too much for the Niners defense, or maybe the Niners defense will be too much for Buffalo. I say Josh Allen gets 1 rushing touchdown in Super Bowl 57, and I think this game's going to go into OT. That's my hot pick. I say this game's going to go into overtime with a score of 24-24. Give me Buffalo to win the game 31-27 over the San Francisco 49ers. Because I think the 49ers will get a field goal first to make it 27-24 in overtime. Buffalo's going to drive down the field, get a touchdown with Stephon Diggs or Dawson Knox, and they're going to win Super Bowl 57, 31-27. Just the full bracket right here, guys. You can see below, I had the Chargers moving on to play the Kansas City Chiefs. Then I had the Bengals. Then I had the Bills beating Dolphins, like Cincinnati, and also I had Cincinnati beating the Ravens. I had the Buccaneers beating the Cowboys to play the Philadelphia Eagles in the divisional round. I had the 49ers beating the Seahawks to play the Minnesota Vikings in the divisional round as the Vikings beat the Giants. Then I had the Chiefs beating the Chargers to move on to the AFC Championship. The Bills beating the Bengals to move on to the AFC Championship. The Eagles beating the Buccaneers to move on to the NFC Championship. And the 49ers beating the Vikings to move on to the NFC Championship. The Bills, going to the Super Bowl after beating the Kansas City Chiefs after they had enough against them. And then I had the San Francisco 49ers going to Super Bowl 57. Here's my official Super Bowl pick. Buffalo Bills, San Francisco 49ers. I have the Bills winning this one. I just don't know how. I really do think that the New York Jets, or not the New York Jets, what am I saying? I really do think that this Bills team is so much, more better, so much better than last season's. I mean, 2020's may be their best. 2020 may be their best season yet, but I definitely think this Bills team is gonna win the Super Bowl this year. So let's see. What other? You want to do a record prediction? You want to go all the way back to September 12th? What team do you want to do? Or all right, what team do you want to do for record prediction if you had to pick this year?
I say we do the Raiders.
The Raiders, all right.
Before we start off with that, I would want to say something about the Madden curse.
All right.
I just thought of it.
Yep.
Maybe the Madden curse was for the Raiders. John Madden.
Oh.
On the cover because he passed away last year.
Yeah.
On the cover, he played for the Raiders. Maybe the Madden cover cursed the Raiders because this team was supposed to be even a Super Bowl. No, like a playoff. Very good playoff chance.
Yeah, I had the Raiders going.
Maybe.
I had the Raiders going 10-7 this year. You know?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had them going like 10-7 and like 11-6.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, but 7-10, man.
Yeah. So you want to do the Raiders? So let's say it's next season, okay? Or no. Let's say this is before the season began, okay? So I have, if this was before the season began week 1, I still have the Chargers beating the Raiders week 1. So the Raiders are 0-1 right now. What do you have? Before the season started, like the team's on paper.
It was what, Chargers Raiders?
Chargers Raiders. I have the Chargers winning that one. I have the Chargers winning that one.
I also have the Chargers winning that season too.
Yeah. So now let's move on to week 2. The Raiders 0-1 so far. Raiders, of course, 0-1. Let's see where they're at now, where they're at right now. They play the Arizona Cardinals. I have them beating the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, if this was on paper. So I have them going 1-1 against Arizona.
Yeah, I also have them beating Arizona too.
Alright, so we have them at 1-1 right now. So let's clear all of these out. So the Raiders played. See, did they have a bye? They had a bye. Raiders had a bye week 3, so let's go to week 4.
No, they played Tennessee.
They played Tennessee in week 3?
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Week 3.
Yeah, never mind.
Week 3 till week 6.
All right, my bad. So I have the Tennessee Titans beating the Raiders in week 3. If this was last season on paper, if this was on paper before the season began, I have the Raiders going 1-2 and losing to the Tennessee Titans.
I also didn't have them in Tennessee last year. Kind of choked with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry been getting like laid out lately, man. He's not the same.
He hasn't been the same since early 2021. So now let's head on to week 4. The Raiders are currently 1-2 and struggling for a playoff spot. And if this was before the season began, I had the Raiders getting crushed. Not crushed, but I had the Raiders barely losing to the Denver Broncos and falling to 1-3. There's this Broncos team on paper. What?
So sorry, I have the Raiders winning that game.
Oh, all right. So as of right now, I'll make it I'll give you the win. So for me right now, I have the Raiders at 1-3. For you, you have the Raiders at 2-2 right now, correct?
I have the bracket. I have it on the bracket too. So if you want to leave it, so if you change it to this is a win, you can keep it to lose because I have a bracket in front of me. Oh, okay.
So I have the Raiders at 1-3 right now. I think week 5 was their. Oh no, and I had the Chiefs beating the Raiders, so I have the Raiders at 1-4 right now. I had the Chiefs beating the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Week 5.
Week 5 or week 4?
Week 5.
Okay.
So I have the Chiefs beating the Raiders, and the Raiders are struggling right now at 1-4.
They play the Kansas City this week too, so
Yep.
they're struggling for you.
I say they're struggling, and they fall to 1-4. They are looking for a playoff spot. It's not looking promising for them right now, as of right now, because they are currently 1-4. What do you say?
I have them losing also to Kansas City.
Yep. All right. So you're 2-3, correct? And I'm 1-4. All right. Now, do they have a bye week this week? Do they have a bye week? I think the Raiders had a bye week in week 6. Yeah, the Raiders.
On the bottom it shows the byes.
Okay, so let's move on to week 7. So I have the Raiders at 1-4. You have the Raiders at 2-3.
2-3.
All right, so they play the Houston Texans. I had them crushing Houston for this game. Give me the Raiders to move on, to upgrade to 2-4 on the season. They're still alive.
Yeah, I have them crushing too. They actually everybody.
Yep. So you have the Raiders at 3-3 right now. All right, and I have the Raiders at 2-4. So let's move on to the other game. So the Raiders played New Orleans. Okay, this is a very tricky game, but I had the Raiders coming out on top before this game. So give me the Raiders to upgrade to 3-4 on the season.
Yeah, I also did have the Raiders too.
So you're 4-3 right now for Las Vegas.
Yep.
And I'm 3-4. So I'm 3-4. You're 4-3 for Vegas. All right. So now the Raiders are playing in week 9. They are playing. Where are they playing? Oh, they're playing Jacksonville. Before the season began, I had Jacksonville going 7-10 this year. So give me the Raiders to upgrade to 4-4. They were just 1-4. Now they're 4-4. Their season is still alive. What do you have, Drake?
Yep, I also got the Raiders winning.
So right now you have the Raiders at 5-3.
Yes.
All right, and I have the Raiders at 4-4. All right, here we go. The Raiders played Indianapolis, and I had Indianapolis winning this one. So the Raiders lose their winning streak and fall to 4-5 on the season.
I actually had this game as a tie.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
All right.
I mean, last year, Raiders have this team, and now Colts have been popping off last year, but they barely just missed the playoffs. And this is kind of the same thing I think would happen with like the Raiders. So I mean, 2 even teams. I have a tie.
So the Raiders for you are 5-3-1 right now.
Yes.
And for the Raiders for me are 4-5. All right. The Raiders played the Broncos, and I had the Raiders getting their revenge game and beating Denver to upgrade to 5-5 on the season. So give me the Raiders at 5-5 right now, currently 3rd place in their division.
I also have the same thing. Raiders are gonna get the win, so they're 6-3-1 for me.
All right, 6-3-1 for the Raiders, and they are 5-5 for me. So let's see. They played the Seattle Seahawks. I had them crushing the Seahawks. Before the season, I thought the Seahawks were going to get the number 2 overall pick.
Yeah, I also had this team.
Give me the Raiders. So give me the Raiders to have their first winning record of the year at 6-5. Do you have the Raiders winning this one?
Against the Chargers, right?
Against the Broncos. Or Seahawks.
Seahawks. Yeah, I had them winning.
All right, so you have the Raiders at 7-3-1, and I have the Raiders at 6-5. All right, the Raiders are still trying to clutch on for a playoff spot. Raiders, Chargers. I thought the Raiders were going to beat the Chargers at least once this season. So give me the Chargers to go, or give me the Raiders to go 7-5 and keeping their season alive.
I had the Chargers in this game again.
All right. So your prediction 7-4-1 right now?
Yep.
7-4-1 for Jake and 7-5 for me. So let's go to this. So Jake, again, you are 7-4-1 and I am 7-5 for the Raiders. Raiders played Where are the Raiders? Oh, they played the Rams, and I have the Rams winning this one. So the Raiders are dropping to 7-6.
Same thing for me. I had the Rams one thing.
So the Raiders for you are 7-5-1 right now. And the Raiders for me are currently 7-6. I remember at the start of this, I was like 1-4, and you were like what? You were. Yeah, you just had a totally different record, and now we're like so close. So Raiders Patriots, I had the Raiders winning this one to advance to 8-6. I thought the Patriots were gonna get at least the 4th overall pick in the NFL draft this year. So I had the Raiders. I had the Raiders winning.
Yeah, I also had the Raiders winning.
So I have the Raiders. So you have the Raiders at 8-5-1, while I have the Raiders at 8-6. So let's move on. And the Raiders play the Steelers. Again, I thought the Steelers were going to do pretty bad this season. So give me the Raiders to advance to 9-6 on the season.
I've also got the Raiders.
So for you, they are what, 9-5-1?
Yes.
So the Raiders for you are 9-5-1, and the Raiders for me are 9-6. They are still alive for a playoff spot. But now here's where it gets tricky. They play San Francisco, and I have San Francisco beating them. So give me the 49ers and the Raiders dropping to 9-7. They have to clinch a playoff spot here.
I also have the Niners beating this team.
So for your prediction, you're 9-6-1, and I'm 9-7. All right, and now here it is, the tiebreaker. I thought the Chiefs were gonna go at least 10-7 this year, and I had the Raiders beating them in Week 18 because I thought they were gonna actually sit their starters, surprisingly, or not, maybe not. But I have the Raiders winning and going 10-7 for the season and making the playoffs as the 6th seed.
That is exactly what I was thinking. They're going to sit all their starters out there, the Chiefs. They're going to sit all the starters, and they're going to come out because the Raiders are going to have all the starters and they win.
Yep, so you have the Raiders' final prediction as 10-6-1, and I have the Raiders' final prediction at 10-7. So let's see. If they went to the wild card this year as the 6th seed, they would have played. Let's see, who's in the wild card round this year? All right, they would have played. Let's see.
The Jaguars.
They would because they were the 4th seed. So let's see. Let's go to wild card round here. They would have played the Bengals, a rematch. They would have played the Bengals, but I had the Bengals knocking them out in the first round. So they would have played Cincinnati again.
For me, they are playing the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So,
and I have them beating the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So, but is that your bracket?
Yes, this is mine. So they're moving on.
I'm doing like if it was real life. So if it was real life, I would have the Bengals beating the Raiders again in the playoffs.
Yeah, real life, I have the Raiders beating the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
In the playoffs.
So.
And now.
So, yeah, those were some excellent predictions. So, how far did you think the Raiders were going to go into the playoffs?
Well, for me, I think they're going to fall to the divisional round.
Fall to the divisional round? I had the Raiders falling in the wild card round to the Cincinnati Bengals in a rematch. So, let's see. What else do we have to discuss? Let's discuss the 2023 NFL Draft. So, I currently have the New York Jets winning, or the New York Jets going into this draft and getting, I would say the Jets probably get maybe an edge rusher, probably not, no, because the Jets don't really need any more edge rushers. I would say the New York Jets will go grab a safety or an offensive lineman. I would say they would grab an offensive lineman or a safety. Who would you say Maybe
yeah,
grab.
they're probably gonna go for offensive line or safety, like you said. If they gotta go for one of those guys because that's what they mostly need. They also need a tight end.
Yeah,
Which would be very good, but I'm saying they go for either
maybe not a tight
I
end.
think that's like a second round. I think they either go for safety or offensive line.
Maybe not a tight end, but maybe a wide receiver. Maybe I could see him getting maybe a wide receiver on defense. Let's see. Do they really need anybody on defense? I mean, they have a top 10 defense. I don't think they need any corners. They don't need corners. They don't need. They kind of need safeties. If I were to pick one, I would pick a safety. But who else? They don't really need any defensive linemen. They need some linebackers. So maybe a linebacker, maybe an outside linebacker. Carl Lawson, Mosley, is good. They're good. Maybe we should have like a backup for them, like a good backup, or maybe a backup corner for Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed.
Yeah.
And for offense, probably an offensive lineman or a fullback or running back. Maybe a wide receiver, possibly tight end, like you said. But who do you think is Bryce Young in this draft?
He's gonna fall top 5. He's either gonna fall to the Colts, the Bears. No, not the Bears. He's either gonna fall to the Colts, Texans. That's the only teams I can really think of.
Yeah, so I think he is going to go to the Houston Texans. So let's see. The call accidentally disconnected. So, Jake, if you're watching this right now, is he calling me? Yep, he is calling. Okay. Sorry about that, Jake. I don't know if that was me.
That's my fault. Like, glitched out.
That's okay. So, anyways, I have the Houston Texans getting Bryce Young.
Either have the Texans or the Colts because might fall. But the Bears do not need a quarterback, so
yeah, they have Justin Fields. Maybe they'll get him as a backup, but I can't see that. I have the Chicago Bears getting, or not the Chicago Bears, the Houston Texans getting Bryce Young. So, anyways, and who do you think is getting CJ Stroud? I think Colts are getting Stroud, to be honest. I think Indianapolis is going to get CJ Stroud. Or, what about Arizona? In case Murray is out for some time, recovering from his ACL injury.
Yeah, they could all. But what about Josh Rosen?
Josh Rosen. He's still on the. I don't think he's still on the team.
But this is very doubtful. But what if the Bears did a tricky move? They drafted Bryce Young.
Yeah.
And they would trade him for something better than a first, like something really good for like a first round pick. They could trade the Texans for something very good, or the Colts for something.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw. Speaking of the first round pick, the Texans just threw away their first round pick. I mean, how unbelievable was that? I mean, like
and
they just threw away their first round pick. I mean, they had it in the bag,
They should have just sat all their starters.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought they were gonna lose to the Colts today. Actually, no. Actually, I had a feeling that the Texans were gonna win, but I mean, it's so unusual to see the Texans win in a must-lose situation. I mean, out of every game you could have won, why the game that you would get your number 1 overall draft pick? They had Bryce Young in the number 1 overall draft pick in the palm of their fist.
Yeah.
That's like, let's see, that's like getting front row seats to the Super Bowl. If you just did one simple task, you would get front row seats to the Super Bowl. But you decide to back out of it last second and you have to watch it at home. That's such a big deal to get the number 1 overall draft pick. I get the Texans wanted to win. I feel happy for them for winning. I do. But I just feel like, it's one more game. You have always next season. Get the number 1 overall pick. Get Bryce Young. Set a new mindset for yourselves. Start a new chapter and just wait for 2023. I just don't understand. When I first found out that the Texans won, I was so surprised, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's basically it for this episode today. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you guys